Please welcome Midori. I'm going to take it out. Ooh, she's a pro. Yeah. It's Saturday night in Sierra Vista. I'm alone in my apartment just outside of the gates of Fort Huachuca, Arizona, home of military intelligence, U.S. Army. And I'm sitting there, tomorrow's off, so I'm out of my uniform, I'm in my shorts, tank top, I'm having a little port, and I'm sitting on my couch thinking, what am I going to do tomorrow? Little laundry. Maybe go to Tombstone, Arizona and go to the saloon. And then, knocking at the door. Think it's one of my buddies. So I go and I open the door. Fuck. Fear. It's her. Now, I've never met her, but I know exactly what she looks like. That beautiful blonde hair, baby blues, a little demure smile. I know what she looks like in that photo, in the frame, next to the bed. His bed. And yeah, she's pretty. She's actually prettier than the picture. She's dinky and slight and delicate with, and she has that sun-streaked blonde haircut just so, baby blue eyes, white sparkly teeth, and a well-maintained tan, and a very intentionally maintained bikini tan line kind of thing. She's the kind of girl that wears pastel sweaters and Ralph Lauren. She's a good girl. Except that night, she wasn't like that in the picture. Her hair was all messed up. Her baby blues, all bloodshot and swollen from crying. And her pretty little smile, her mouth twisted into a contorted line of anger and anguish. And she's standing there in my doorway, the fiancé of the guy I've been banging. A 100 scenarios go through my head as to what's about to happen in the next few minutes. Most of them bloody. Me, bloody. Take a deep breath. See, he and I, we were in the same unit. Oh. Yeah. And he's practically married, so that makes, fraternization and adultery, which is against the law, according to the UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice. Breaking the law. But see, if you get a bunch of, I was stationed there as a lieutenant, and you get a bunch of us, men and women, young, ambitious, and physically motivated, mentally motivated, spiritually motivated to fight and serve, and we are an ambitious lot. Hormone raging through our bodies. Put us together in a pressure cooker, and you know what happens after a while? Fuck happens. Yeah, and back in the day, back then, I didn't know about poly, or negotiating, or ethical slutting. I'd learn about that quickly, soon, as I moved to San Francisco. But back then, I was awfully proud of myself for being pragmatically predatory, with no strings attached. Yeah, there's a new term, pragmatically predatory. You can use it, Ariel. Yeah. Because it's anthropology. Hey. And I was proud of that, no strings attached. And he liked that too. He was okay by that, Dwight was. And let me tell you about Dwight. 6 feet tall, blonde, like a waspy god, blue eyes, chiseled chin, right? Smooth chest and a six-pack, nice bod, bubble butt with fuzzy blonde hair. Nice tool too, okay? And well, let's see, he had that smile like a car salesman. And he could shake your hand and slap your back like a politician before they rob you blind. That kind of guy. He was a big man on campus kind of dude, and he fucked like a frat boy champion. Pile driver, I tell ya. He could fuck and fuck and fuck, and he was always, ready to oblige and reliably horny. Not much on the finesse. But what did I care then? So, he was reliably horny, good looking, and no strings attached. Good by me. And there she is, standing in the doorway. Hi, I'm Midori. Yes, I know. Would you like to talk to me? Yes, I would. Come in. So invite her in. I sit her down on one end of the couch. In my apartment, well, I had a couch, a coffee table, a TV, and topography map all over the wall. That's all I had. So we had one couch. She sat on one end, I sat on this end. I brought out a glass. I handed it to her, wondering if it's a good idea to hand her something made of glass. And I said, would you like some port? She said, yes. She'd been crying. Poured her some port. Poured me some. I sat in the corner and waited. She grasping her glass and crying. Eventually she starts to try to talk, and then she asks, why? And I said, because I was horny. And that's it. Oh. Then I pour her some, she drinks, and she starts talking about their relationship and about him. And see, he's a little smarmy. Turns out he's a bit of a jerk. I wasn't surprised. Kind of treats her like dirt, and she's a little disappointed with this whole love thing. She doesn't feel like it's supposed to. And I go, honey. I pour some more. And then she starts telling me about the sex isn't what she thought it would be, and she doesn't have a lot of experience. I'm like, and she's looking at me with this searching look, like, do I have better sex with him? And I said, actually, he's not all that great. He's kind of middle of the road, okay-ish. And there's a lot better out there, because I've been with a lot of guys, and there's really a lot better, so he's actually not all that good. He lasts a long time, that's nice. It's like, okay. She seemed relieved. And I'm pouring, and she's crying, and I'm drinking, and she's crying, and I'm pouring, and she's talking, and drinking, and drinking. And next thing you know, the space between the couch gets smaller, and then her head is on my little head is on my shoulder, and she's crying, and she's holding on to me, and she smells good. She smells good. And she's holding on to me. And then I'm not sure if she kissed me or I kissed her. And then we're playing tonsil hockey and like devouring each other and hands onto each other. And she has perky little tits. Not like big like mine. She has perky. Cute. And we're like making out and licking and hands under shirt and blah, blah. And then we finally come up for air. And she's looking at me with a stunned look. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Oh, it's not going to be good. And then she bursts out laughing. Like, what? Like, oh my God, do you realize right now, she's kind of drunk and slurring, do you realize right now he thinks that we're killing each other over him? I'm like, yeah, he would be. He's like, yeah, they're fighting over me. And we haven't thought about him at all. And so then she laughs, and then she's like, smack in my face, and she's like eating my face off. And then down the neck, we're making out, and then she pushes me away and says, let's go freak him out. I totally understood where this was going. We help each other off the couch, and we make our way out of our apartment kind of drunkenly and across the compound and to his apartment. Standing in front of the apartment, and we kind of get ourselves together, and we try to firm ourselves up, and we press the doorbell, and we stand the best angry bitches stance that you can get, that a couple of horny, drunk, snogging girls can manage. And he opens the door, and he's like pretty much naked except for a nice tight pair of briefs, and he's looking good in that. And he opens the door, and blood drains out of his face. He thinks we're there to kill him, except he didn't notice that we didn't have blood on us. So we're like, oh, angry face, shoving him down the hallway, and then we just burst out laughing, and he's like, hey. And then shoving, and we shove him into his bedroom and down onto his bed, and he's like, score! And then hands on one another, clothing coming off, and he's kissing her, she's kissing me, I'm kissing her, I'm kissing him, clothes coming off, and let's see, then she's on her back and he's fucking her, and I'm making out with her, and then he's on his back and she's riding, well, her cock, it's really her cock, riding her cock, and I'm making out, and then making out with her from behind and grabbing her little perky boobies. And then like riding his face and making out, and she's riding up and down on her cock, and then let's see, this way and that way, and let's see, at some point she's on top of me, and he's trying to get in between us, and I'm pushing him away, and I'm on top of her, and she's trying to get in, and I'm pushing him out of the way, and she's like, we're like this, and I'm pushing him out of the way, and now she's pushing him out of the way, and we're like, and he's like trying to hump us somehow, and somehow fucking is happening, somehow we came somehow this way. I don't know, I was drunk. And then we woke up. And clothes everywhere, sticky, and there's 3 of us, and awkward. I gather up my clothes, put on my clothes, and walk ashamed back to my apartment, and to leave them to work out their drama. Not my drama, pragmatically predatory. And they worked out their thing, and eventually she dumped his ass. And we hooked up a couple times thereafter. Not like we dated, we hooked up, all right? So, and so what did she get out of that night other than a hot, wild night and a mean hangover? She figured out that she didn't have to be somebody else's idea of a good girl to be her own woman. Yeah. And you know what I got out of that night? Look your fear straight in her eyes, and she'll kiss you back.